Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hoon. And today it is together with Margaret Sisserson, and it is Sunday, the 1st of May, or the 1st of April in the 10th year of Chongyal Guk. Let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Kyombe. Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가전맨세 4. 전일국주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 찬조 이사인 전주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 4. Our family, the owner of Chongyal Guk, pledges to build the universal family, encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. I'd like to ask Tim Sisserson if you could offer the opening prayer, please.
Good morning, our Heavenly Parent. Thank you so much for this beautiful new day when we have the chance to gather together as brothers and sisters under your incredible love and grace. We are so amazed by the wisdom and the incredible love and the way our true mother is preparing so much for the future. Like our true father, she has been praying and investing herself for us, for the future of humankind. Heavenly Parent, we really want to thank you that we all can be participants in your great providence. We sincerely want to open our hearts to receive your wisdom and your blessing today, that we can go forward with greater power and inspiration. And we offer all this reporting in the name of our blessed central families. Aju.
Aju, thank you. And let's give a warm welcome to Margaret as she shares this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is called Spiritual Journey and Gratitude to Asia Pacific 2. So I just want to show the map of Micronesia. Micronesia went through the 4 nations care: Spain, Germany, Japan, and the United States. And this spiritual journey will be centered on 4 spiritual principles of resurrection from the divine principle. So the first one is the merit of the age has increased in proportion to the foundation of heart laid by prophets, sages, righteous people who came before us. Therefore, resurrection is carried out based on the merit of the age. So I just share a little bit about the religious foundation in Palau. So during World War II, there were 3 priests that from Spain that were killed because they were suspected to be spies and were killed by the Japanese soldiers. Also, 3 missionaries lost in the sea. One was a Jesuit, Father Flavin from New York. Pastor Tori Byong from First SDA Palawan pastor, and then Pastor Simpson from Protestant Church. They were all lost in the ocean. Exactly same thing, and their bodies were not recovered. And on December 23, 2003, exact day of Jesus' kingship, crowning in Israel, the Tipaiva family were killed in Palau. And this year, the surviving daughter came back to give forgiveness to the perpetrator and for allowing Palau to feel the forgiveness. And she made a movie called Return to Palau. So my paternal grandparents, Johannes and Carolina Poloy, were matched by German missionaries. And this was to bring the states that they were from, or the villages in those days, and Esar and Malgayo villages, to unite, because the Catholic mission had in mind to plant a new church other than Koror in Malgayo. My maternal grandparents, Ngiratewid and Diraur, chiefs who could not have children, so they adopted my mother, and my mother was related to both of them from both the father and mother side. So my parents, Franz and Choco Ines, were arranged to marry by the two sets of grandparents. So my dad got his name from Germany, Franz, and my mom got her name Choco Ines, Choco from Japan and Ines from Spain. These are the gifts of the nations that come to your island nation, actually. So they had 10 children, so 10 in all siblings. The oldest one with a fancy dress, her name was Mona, became a nun, and I am number 9 here. We were all named by different saints, by missionaries, instead of given a Palawan name. One of the great memories I have growing up was after the Christmas midnight mass was a great time and a good memory. My dad had a scholarship to study pharmacy in Japan and came back and worked for the hospital built by the Japanese. And I believe the training he had helped him in his work as a church council. This is a group of church council in Koror at that time. That's my dad there with a tie. And what I said was, what helped him was he decided to conduct a Bible study at our home and invited couples who had not blessed their marriage in the church. He recommended to Father Hoare, Richard Hoare, a Jesuit from New York, to conduct 5 couples church wedding. His idea was to save money. Everyone receives the sacrament at one time and celebrate at one time. All families potluck. He didn't want people to spend a lot of money. I could only find the 3 from the family albums. At age 11, my father passed away, on February 8, 1964. So usually in a large family, each sibling bond with the one with age closeness. So Richard and I were very close in age, and he protected me growing up. I went to a Catholic elementary and high school, Maristela and Mizenti, that was named after a Cardinal Mizenti who fought against communism in his country. And on my senior year, I received an American Field Service scholarship to attend Plymouth High in Wisconsin, an exchange program to create world peace. It was there in 72 that I saw the Little Angels on TV when they were performing at the UN, and I was just amazed of how wonderful this group was. Then I went to the University of Guam in 82 to 84 and transferred to University of South Carolina in 84-85. I stayed with the U.S. Navy family on base, military base, because it was my mother's request, which was wise. They transferred because of their military duty, so I transferred with them. And it was on February 8, 1975, I met my spiritual father on campus at the University of South Carolina. The second principle, according to the principle of creation, it was God's responsibility to create human beings and give them His word, while it was human portion of responsibility to reach perfection by believing in and living according to it. Similarly, in conducting the providence of resurrection, God's responsibility is to give us His word and guidance, and our responsibility is to believe and practice it in order to fulfill the providence. So here is Phuc An live from Hong Kong, who witnessed to me. And this is Peter Gogan, who was the state leader then, and also was the lecturer of Divine Principle. So I went to a weekend workshop, and Peter, who had a theatrical drama major in college, was an incredible lecturer. So during the principle of creation, talking about the dual characteristics, finding out that God is both Father and Mother, that I am an individual embodiment of truth, therefore I am an image of God, I can be perfect, original parent is available to me 24/7. While I'm listening to this principle of creation lecture, my spirit rose above my head. I'm embraced by this warm, enveloping energy that embraced me, and I hear, I have always been here, but you did not know. I had never experienced or expected. I was a dutiful Catholic that went to Mass every day and received communion, but I never had this experience. So continued on in the workshop with the fall, Jesus, resurrection, last days, history, it felt like the blanks were being filled like a zigzag puzzle. So canceled my summer courses and my third year of public health education field and flew to Berrytown for all the training. My major changed from public health education to spiritual health. I have no regrets. I am so glad to have given my youth to God and true parents. So in Berrytown, meeting the living Messiah for the first time. It was in my 40 days on August 1975. True Father came to speak to us every morning. His translator was Mrs. Wan Pak Che. I had expected Father to levitate on the stage as Jesus did on the water. Instead, he marched back and forth with a booming voice. Then he said, "All foreigners, stand up." And I said, "Oh no." I felt I learned, when Jesus see you face to face, he will see all your sins. Then True Father said, "Do you know why you are here in America? Because God brought you to meet me. So study hard and learn, and someday you will be missionaries to your country." I had a different thought. America is the center of the world. Who would listen to Palau, a small, insignificant island? But the Messiah has spoken. So I made a decision to stay in America for 10 years to make the foundation. My first spiritual son witnessed in the work in Iowa in the Midwest. His name is Manning, Gerald Manning, and his beautiful wife, Mitsuko. They have beautiful 5 children. They were the first to finish 430 in Iowa. So we were blessed to inherit some from them to enter Chombo. 79 matched, as you heard Tim's testimony before, blessed in 82, and went to Palau as first UC missionary to Micronesia area. Upon arrival in Palau, spiritual parent raised funds, Fukan and his wife Lillian, and invited us to go to Hong Kong. Introduced the Asian approach to mission. Need to build your own finances and get merits from your ancestors. They were selling ginseng in every shop in Hong Kong to make their money for their center. And Fukan took us to the temple. It was a memorable experience. Third, according to the principle of creation, a person's spirit can grow to perfection only through the physical self. Likewise, in the providence of resurrection, the resurrection of a spirit can be achieved only through earthly life. I take that to mean bless the people. So when we came to Palau, we set up at what used to be MOC, Micronesian Occupational College, which now is called Palau Community College. And I will set up the table, Tim will go to work, and then in the evening we will have lectures. Many of them were the outer island students studying there. There were a few Palauans that came. And here is a picture of Mino and Cheryl on their blessing. He's the fruit of that work, I feel. He's also from the outer islands of Yap, on their blessing in 2013. Up here is the blessings that we did in Guam. We also went to Pohnpei, FSM, to bless the first couple there with the National Messiahs. So Continental Director Dongwoo Kim, Reverend So, and Chung Il-guk Japanese missionaries invested a lot. And not to forget the one and only Japanese WFWP sister named Isako Yamamoto that gave close to 20 years in Guam and Palau. So while in the States, we blessed Tim's family, his sister, his cousin. Also, my cousin from New York came to Arizona to bury their mother, and we had a chance to be with them and bless them. I couldn't find all the other pictures. So, to me, this physical life, foundation of physical life, is to give joy to the people through the blessing and take care of our health so we can continue to do that. So one way we take care of our health is physical maintenance, as we are getting there in age. So we try to grow our food, swim, and do some enjoyable pastime. I like to learn how to weave baskets, as I did not learn growing up. Some of my sisters are great at it, but I never learned. Was not interested in those days. And the fourth principle is, according to the principle of creation, a person is meant to reach perfection through the three ordered stages of growing period. Therefore, the providence of resurrection for fallen people is also to be completed through three ordered stages, manifested as 3 ages in the providence of restoration. This is my concept of 3 orderly stages for Palau. The formation is all true parent Johnson. The mission work centered on World Mission Department, National Messiah, Japanese missionaries are all true parents' work. And the growth to me is the National Messiah Providence, Japanese missionaries, Oceania centered on Dr. Young, bringing help to the islands, particularly and especially Greg Stone and Jeff Fires and Jeff and Mugi and their family. And the completion, I look at it as the Pacific Civilization period centered on True Mother through the First Lady Summit 2019 and beyond. So underneath, like under the ocean, the current, there's Chonsong being made by national messiahs. Their sacrifices, their prayers, their difficulties. So we were very happy to see that the able Messiah here, the Adam Messiah, the Eve Messiah, and the German Messiah here, all invested tremendously. I'm sure only God and true parents know their hearts. RMI, Republic of the Marshall Islands, 2000. True parents came to Micronesia. Because of the Itos families, they stayed and made the foundation, and true parents could come to RMI. As you can see in this picture, I'm the only island person in the picture. 2003, continental leader and his team came to the island nations. We were very grateful and happy for this help. Uh, and to Greg and to Jeff, I just didn't have time to find all the other activity pictures, but they did a lot. So here, the president came for an event and also to meet Dr. Young and the team. Here, the First Lady went to IIPC in Samoa, where the Moro worked hard to get that going. And here, the parliamentarians from Palau went to Korea. And here, some ambassador for peace went to Melbourne. Thank you, Melbourne, for taking care of them. In 2004, crowning of King and Queen, our true parents. And the building and the growing when Greg and Jeff and Miyuki were in Palau. And here, the president, Father JP from the Catholic Church, traditional chief. This is the president's father, who was a traditional chief and also the first district administrator under the trust territory. Has had a long political career and helped Palau. Mobilization of all events would not have been possible without the Japanese sisters. And Japanese sisters, not just from Japan, from Oceania, especially in Australia as well, that came to help. Thank you very much. Hontoni arigatou gozaimashita. December 2, 2005, True Parents in Palau. There's a lot of work that goes on in the background, as you all know. And as you can see, all these banners. Guess who did all the banners? All the organizations behind the scene, Jeff Byers. Incredible work. December 3rd, victory celebration and departure with the double rainbow. In 2006, True Mother and Hyung Janim comes to Palau. This picture here, I think Palau was the first to coin the term Mother Moon. It was amazing why that wrote the song called Mother Moon and found these young ones and made their grass skirts, and they performed for True Mother and Hyunjanim's couple, and it was called Mother Moon. I have to find that song. As you know, the Christian leaders in America united with True Parents to go around the world. So we had this Reverend come, and the First Lady took care of her. And she's from North Carolina originally. So when I went to North Carolina, I visited her. And this is a picture of our Oceania regional members meeting at True Parents' birthday. So fast forward to 2019, Asia Pacific descended like lightning and thunder to Palau. Everywhere there were banners. Every TV station had something going regarding the event. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. Thank you, Oceania and Asia, for your investment. And First Ladies in 2020 in Korea. So many blessings from true parents. Left uni but entered into True Parents Institution. What a great blessing. Thank you, Mom and Dad, Father and Mother Moon. How do I open this? There you go. So, oh, okay. I hope you could hear me.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much, Margaret. Thank you, and for sharing your amazing testimony and your life in Palau and around the world. It's wow, listening to your story. It's quite amazing. It deserves a round of applause. I like your approach on through the principle of restoration, how all the aspects of principle, you could see it develop the foundation to today, and I remember that time when seeing the pictures there when Dr. Yong and the team came, and that was the time that I first went to Palau and met everyone there. But I can see that only when Oceania was able to support that lots of things happened, and a lot of great work was done by Reverend Stone and Jeff in Palau. And I don't want to say much. I want to open it up to others so others can share. So go ahead. Who would like to share first? Yes, Jacinta, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to say how much, Margaret really feels like the mother, not just of her own nation, but of all of the people. She's kind of, I feel like she's taken the mother position to the missionaries from all of those different nations, Japan and Spain and America. And it's so nice to hear that, she's kind of understands the heart and sacrifice that had gone before her. And that it seems like Palau has a really high standard of spirituality in the Catholic Church, and that, having those matchings and things like that, it's really amazing. Even before, they've obviously not all heard divine principle, but it's like they've already been trying to practice it. So, wow, I really send my love and thanks for all your work and on the work of national messiahs who never get recognized for what they do. I'm really glad you mentioned them too, because I know that they are everywhere, just doing their thing, trying to do their mission. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Jacinta. Jeff, you have your hand up. Go ahead. I need to unmute, please.
Thank you, Margaret. Wow, that was a really amazing presentation about Palau. Palau was so incredible. So many hidden things are in Palau concerning God's providence. And even when I went there, I've been to other places, touched on Samoa and, of course, Africa, different places. But when I went to Palau, I thought, it's just hard to understand Palau people because they are a mixture of many people. Japanese blood, Korean blood, German blood. There's so many people in there. And the spirit world, already restoration has gone on there in their history of bringing nations together and married together. It's an incredibly special nation. I can say in the world, in so many ways, really, a mother nation. And we're in a Pacific region as a mother region in the world, a warm womb of water, So, and of course, Margaret herself, probably one of the first Polynesian or island Pacific people to join our movement, even seen the Little Angels in 1972. So yeah, anyway, her match to also America and the relationship between America and Palau is just one of the few nations that are even in the Pacific Island nations who is really firmly kind of connected to America and, warding off China and so on. So yeah, it's a special nation. So God bless you, Margaret and Tim and your family. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Yes, Reverend Ito, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Margaret. Really, you're a God prepared person from the Pacific and Micronesia, because I was assigned a national messiah to Marshall Island, 1996. After attending some conference in I think Melbourne, Australia, for the first time a national messiah attended. And then after back to Japan, I transferred immediately, prepared to go to Marshall Island, because Marshall is current president at that time, attended inaugural conference of Federation of Island Nation, the Amata Kabua. So by the connection by this, I tried to visit Marshall Island, and through Guam, the first person I met is Margaret and his family and the missionary in Guam. Yeah, I remember at the time. And I went to Marshall Island. Anyway, the Micronesia is a very special place. And like she said, Spanish and Germany, then Japanese, then finally America. As all those Micronesian people is very, a little bit different character, but very special background. And also very important, that place, because the father said to the Dr. Young, that among Oceania nation, the American one is most key point, important point, especially like Micronesia, all under American. And strategically very important. That's why the Marshall Islands, there is a especially missile test site in the quadrant in Japan, Marshall Island, and also the atomic bomb, hydrogen bomb test in the Marshall Island in 66 times. So all those, 3 nations is like before the 1 countries under U.S. trust territory and under Japanese, like a so-called Nanyo Gunto, and based on Palau. In the Palau, there's a lot of industries there, and all connected, interconnected. Yeah. So this is something very meaningful. And the father himself sent Reverend Kubuki to Marshall Island to make tuna farming possibilities. So many external, internally, and I think very important. And God really prepared, like Margaret, to have a foundation to develop. Any different national messiah come, but I'm still here, anyway, many investment, but because of Island Nation and some another difficulties, indemnity, we must really absolutely fulfill by cooperate with Margaret together, and we can really make a key membership, our island nation. Yeah, thank you so much. Great, Margaret. Thank you so much. Your investment and the testimony.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Reverend Ito. Yes, Chris, go ahead.
Good morning, Margaret. Yeah, amazing testimony. And Margaret, I'm just wondering, we're praying for Palau, and I just wonder if you could share briefly about anything we can help with the actual registration of UPF. With all the work that's going on there, I can't help but wonder what's the difficulty there, and if there's anything you need help with in prayer or foundation to actually get UPF registered. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. Actually, good news. I've been following up with the registration that Reverend Stone has started while we were not here. And the problem was the secretary at the lawyer's office did not submit the papers. She misunderstood the name Universal Peace Federation. She thought it was some other peace federation and filed it away. So when I followed up with the AG's office, it was because the paper has not arrived there and they didn't pay the fee. So I've been on top of it, checking with the lawyer's office, so that hopefully within a few weeks the certificate will come out. We're now in the position of preparing for the Family Federation to be registered with a new name, with HPHC, still same context in the bylaws. And another good news is that one of our longtime ambassador for peace, Joel Toribio, who also has a TV channel, has agreed to be a board member of Family Federation. The Attorney General is his cousin. So I told him his name has to be on the paper, and his cousin has to know that now we mean business. So that's in the works already. Thank you. Continue to pray, because always there's little spiritual minions that gets in the way. So we have to clear the way and let the work move forward. And just a word on this testimony is that all my life I have been going to mass every day, receiving the communion until I met the church. But I didn't experience receiving the communion. I didn't experience that intensity of God's Spirit until I heard the divine principle. So my testimony is that I don't have to die to experience God. I already experienced it through the divine principle. So to me, this is my great source of passion, is that it's through the principle I work, um, that I want to give the same experience to others. So this time we really have to educate the ground from the ground up. So we are working on different avenues. For example, possibly in the next 2 weeks we'll be presenting to the Governors Association of 16 states in Palau, and we want to solicit their partnership with UPF, so that they can create their own meeting places in their states and look for people for us. That's what we're going to go after at this time, as well as we have plans to start blessing all 16 states. When we say states, we're talking about some states have only 15 people, like the Southwest Islands. You know, we're not talking about millions. We're talking about 300 down to 15 people. So it's doable. So continue to pray. We need to bring victory before we move on to the next journey, right?
Yeah, thanks, Margaret.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we got time for a couple more people. Yes, no, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. I felt like I have to say something to an older sort of guiding sister who pioneered the way, and your family appears to be heavenly prepared. I mean, you know, your parents, grandparents matched and of different religious backgrounds as well. And your father conducting mass weddings already. Yeah, that's so cool. I'm sure, you know, you paved the way for others in the Pacific Islands. And yeah, we're ever grateful for that. And yeah, hopefully Palau becomes restored quickly as one of the nations, because your parents have invested so much in there. Yeah, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nat. Yes, Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Margaret, and thank you so much, Tim, for all your incredible work. And you really give us hope, actually, for achieving Vision 2027. Actually, Palau is one of those 7 nations that Mother refers to as being restored nations. You know, because of the summit that took place there. So, but still, we have work to be doing there. We're really behind you. Thank you so much for going back there now. I know we're getting old, but we still have more work to do, right? We still have to do it, and we'll do it. We'll do it. So we're supporting you. We love you. Thank you so much. Yeah, God bless.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
Yeah.
Seti, go ahead, Reverend Seti. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Margaret. Thank you so much. Just your testimony of your rebirth experiences, Divine Principle reminded me of the exact kind of feeling of my 7-day workshop at Eldor Farm in New Zealand. So I was just, yeah, amazed. Yeah, maybe those are the times we had our Holy Spirit experiences with Jesus and, yeah, with the Divine Principle. Also amazing, fascinating history of Palau. I'll just remind that, yeah, while I am taught with the First Lady, that our representatives who came there, Molio'o and the other lady, 2 of them came. But Ana Rosa is now the finance minister in the new government. And of course, now we have the First Lady Prime Minister in the Pacific. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities there. If you want to begin, what do we call? A reunion? First Lady reunion or something, online or whatever. Certainly welcome that to restart something. Thanks again for the wonderful testimony.
Thank you, Reverend Seti. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, everyone. It's that time now for us to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen and let's pray together. Aju, aju, aju. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Margaret, today. Thank you, Greg and Jeffrey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Margaret.
God bless.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Margaret and Tim. Bye-bye.